welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston, and you are here with me. Thanks for joining me for the monthly I Ching overview for December 2023. Yes, we are here at the end of what has been a big and challenging year for us all. So before we get into what December is focusing our attention on and what might be the learning and development we are going through as a community together, let us recap November. We had Hexagram 33 retreat, withdrawing from things that were no longer good for us. That strategic retreat of, remember the chess game, okay, moving out of danger, withdrawing your pieces out of a situation which is not of the highest and the best for you right now. And we had some interesting changing lines that challenged us to keep pushing on, even though we had hangers-on holding on to us for dear life, becoming aware of what those hangers-on were, and getting a moment to actually be complete and being able to retreat calmly and peacefully and cheerfully out of something. Then we also had Hexagram 28, great pressure, the coal turning into the diamond through that big stress of the month. And for you, thinking back on the month, what did you withdraw from? What did you become aware of was no longer good for you? Where were the hangers-on, right? Where was the opportunity to make a hasty retreat? And of course, where was the pressure bearing down upon you? And when we have Hexagram 28, what's really great about it, the upside, the path to victory with it, is that it shows us where the weak spots are. When the pressure cranks down, we hear the of those kind of pressure cracks forming, and that really gives us an opportunity to look very carefully, very clearly, with an open mind and heart as to what is not working and where there is not enough scaffolding and support and structure to hold the pressure that you are going through. So do some reflection if it's not yet clear to you how that might have sat with you in the month. And of course, comments. We love comments. Okay, so December, let's get into it. Now, I cannot say this is a holiday overview, okay? Light, energy, relaxing, taking time out, everything is glorious, unicorns and rainbows. The work is not done. The work is not done for us all. What I am going to do is we are going to work on this together. We're going to look at the hexagrams that have come up for us in December, and we're going to make a concerted effort to work with them, to understand how they apply to our lives and maximize the opportunity, because these hexagrams come as a gift. They come to help us. They come to help us see a particular facet of our lives, of our businesses, of our relationships where some work is required. So, you ready? Okay, our first hexagram for the month is hexagram 54, marrying Maiden. Okay, before you get excited that, I'm going to get married. Okay, maybe that is the case for you. This hexagram goes a lot further than the title suggests. It speaks about relationships and marriages and unions. So you might find that what's online for you in December are issues related to alliances, strategic partnerships, working engagements with others, and perhaps on a personal side, personal relationships, okay? Now, the thing with this hexagram is it tells a story of the young lady, okay, who is kind of sold into a royal line as a bride, okay, of the prince. Maybe she's, the 8th concubine down, whatever. She is in a pecking order. She's not queen. And this is not a level of power that she is used to. Okay, so what she's got to do, she's got to make peace with her new circumstances. Life has suddenly taken her out of her family home and transported her, into this palace, into this situation that's foreign to her, into a power level and a level of authority that is foreign to her. Okay, she feels like she's been notched down. Okay, what she's got to do, she's got to trust. This is a big word with a capital T. She's got to trust that the plan is working out. Okay, All right. Can we all trust that there is some kind of plan on whatever level and by whatever name you want to give it? There's some kind of plan that is getting us into position even when it does not seem like it. And then later we look back and we say, oh my goodness, that was exactly what should have happened. Because if that didn't have happened, that wouldn't have happened and everything wouldn't have lined up so beautifully. When we're in it, okay, when we feel disempowered, when we feel like life is happening to us, these big events, these big cycles of change are clicking us into new realms. When we're in that space, it can be frightening, disempowering, and can bring out the worst in us. And so with this hexagram, how we behave in these new circumstances, how we deal with the situation is everything, right? How we conduct ourselves properly for the station we find ourselves in. Because the moment we start marching up and down the palace corridors, demanding to be queen and acting like the queen and throwing our weight around, we realize very quickly we don't have that power. And that's slightly humiliating. So with this hexagram, it might play out in a very physical relationship, alliance dimension for you this month. But let's look deeper. Let's look at where we feel that we are being shoved into new situations that don't seem part of the plan. Okay, we can't see how this is all tied together, and accepting that the plan is working out. Okay, having faith and trusting that something is guiding this process forward. And all you have to do is you have to hold fast to the principle of what you're wanting to create and have patience that the cycles of change are getting you to where you need to get to, not necessarily where you thought you would get to, but always higher and better than you thought. And with this hexagram, the bigger story that plays out is that the lady, in this case, who is brought in as a concubine, ultimately becomes the wife that gives birth to a king of a golden era. And so, although she cannot see her role in this process, as she comes into it, the bigger picture is that she is exactly where she needs to be. So our development this month, as we work with this idea, right, of the marrying maiden, we keep putting ourselves back into this position of, I affirm the goal that I'm working towards for the highest and the best, because I can't possibly know where it is I actually need to be to do my best and be my best. And trust the process. Everything is as it should be. Everything is as it should be. Consider even writing that down on a piece of paper and sticking it up on your computer or on your fridge or on the side of your kettle so that you can see it often. It's just this month. Things change from month to month and from week to week. But that is a mantra that we can work with this month. Now, there is one changing line in the 6th position, culmination position. Okay, things are reaching the culmination of the story. A very interesting line. Okay, so it talks about the wife bringing her pregnancy to the ceremony, but she in fact is not pregnant. And the husband bringing a sheep to be slaughtered for the ceremony, but no blood flows from the sheep. So this line talks about where we honor rituals in a relationship, an alliance, in a situation with others. We honor the rituals that are expected, but there isn't substance behind them. They're barren, they're empty, and nothing is going to change here. So we have to look at it and be honest with ourselves. There's something around this changing line that's coming to draw our attention to a particular alliance, a particular engagement, a particular relationship, collaboration, where we're going through the motions and we're kind of participating, but the heart and the substance and the reality behind the facade is not there. It's not there, okay? No wishing is going to make it so. And so the line actually counsels that leave the situation. It's done. There's nothing here. So we have to work with that this month. We have to think about, from a timing point of view, just purely for learning purposes, culminates up to the 15th of the month. Okay, so as we start at the beginning of December, around about the 15th of December, this line really has our attention in the first half of the month. And for us to work with recognizing if it relates for you, because it might not relate to you at all, then just put it aside, okay, not mine. But if you spot it, if you say, oh, yes, this changing line, I can see it. I'm in a business partnership and we're kind of doing what we say we're going to do, but our hearts aren't really in it. And there isn't a long-term value in it. We're kind of just going through the motions for the sake of, but the reality of it, the substance is missing. Look at that kind of thing. And then say to yourself, what do I do with that now that I see that? Is this a case of time to let it go? All right. So where does it evolve into? We have one changing line, okay, transforming into a second hexagram, okay, a relating hexagram, an outcome hexagram. They work together in a pair, in a kind of a dance, the two hexagrams. I like to call it the victory hexagram, is hexagram 38 opposition. Okay, so you can see this kind of changing line in the sixth position where we're bringing stuff to the table, but it's not really, substantial. There's nothing behind it, to this opposition where we are at odds. Okay, this hexagram is like oil and water that do not mix. These are two sisters, right? Fire and lake. These two sisters do not see eye to eye. They're like from different planets. Okay. And so when we work with this hexagram, all right, we see that there is a situation. We have oil, we have water. We either have to accept that oil and water shall never meet. Okay, the idea of the changing line. And that there's diverging interests, and call it, right? Or we have to find a creative solution of finding something new that oil and water can blend through. I use the silly example of making mayonnaise. You've got your vinegar and you've got your oil, okay, your water and your oil. And it's through the egg yolk that you're adding that you're emulsifying these two opposing elements to bind together into something new. So whenever you face this opposition, okay, where you're in a situation where you and the other just don't understand each other, like worlds apart. It's not even that we can negotiate and come to a middle ground, right? This is about we do not see eye to eye. The only way we can move forward, if we choose to move forward, is that we emulsify our differing viewpoints into something new. Okay, there's something new beyond where we were. There's not a winner and a loser. That's not how this hexagram gets resolved. We move forward by creating something new and through turning conflict into creative tension. And that's how we work with the hexagram. So it is a challenging hexagram, I would say. Both of these hexagrams are challenging hexagrams. The line is challenging because it's asking us to make a decision and to let something go. And we have to dig deep this month. This is not a holiday month. It might be a holiday month. But where might you face this situation of this relationship issue or feeling that you are disempowered in a situation that's beyond your control, okay, where you've lost some power? Trust the process, trust, have faith and trust that you are getting into position and working with this changing line. Where is there a process where we're doing something for the sake of, but it's not really substantial, doesn't have meaning behind it? And then, of course, how do we resolve the opposition? If we choose to resolve it and work through it, something new must come to bring the two views together. And that is the path of development. Preferred that we work through it and we find new ways of binding our two opposing views together. It's okay if you feel misunderstood this month, if you feel that you're talking and someone's just not getting you, okay? When you get that kind of experience, go, 38 opposition. Right, I need to understand what it is that I can do to creatively transform the situation if I want to. And of course, we will have the weeklies, which will have their own energy taking us through week by week by week as the I Ching focuses our attention on what it is that's important that we should focus on to maximize our growth. This month, there is still work to be done, and we'll work through it together. They are challenging, but we can do it, and we will grow beautifully together in the month if we do. Thank you so much. Please, if this was valuable, please give a thumbs up. That'd be great. And of course, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you are on the YouTube or follow on the podcast version, it'd be great to have you back here with me. So of course, this means that very shortly you'll have your first weekly overview for December. And I'm going to start working on that new overview for 2024. Can you believe it? We are here. Crazy. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.